All right, guys. Thank you for tuning in to the podcast. Today, I'm talking with this guy. He's pretty cool. Met him, I've known for about 2 months now, but he's a local comedian. He's really funny. This is a funny episode. I hope you guys like it. If you like it, give us a like on Facebook, share us, like it on YouTube, whatever you can do. Also, support us. Go to PayPal. It's on our Facebook. This is a really good one, guys. It's funny. It went long, like we could have gone longer. But it's really cool. You're gonna like it. Alright, guys. Enjoy the motherfucking show.
Annihilated to the point where I can't do
talking to the mic
anymore.
You can probably talk from.
Hey, how's it going? This is my first podcast.
Maybe
right
like 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches. Right here, right there, a little bit. So yeah,
I feel like right here is a good spot. Is right here a good spot? Does that sound good?
Does that sound good? You can hear yourself? Pretty
Hello. Good? I kinda. It's weird because like I know that I'm talking. You know what I mean? And like
I can hear it in your headphones though, right?
A little bit.
When you talk.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely.
So you could tell how close you need to go based off that.
Hello, how's it? It's weird. I feel like I can hear you talking, but
you got to talk into it. We don't have to use the pop filter.
Into it. Yeah. I can.
You don't have to use the pop filter if you don't want to.
Talk into it. I feel like that thing makes it quiet.
Alright, so we're started. I'm here with a fellow comedian, or we're both trying to be comedians.
Yeah,
how's it going, man?
You were good.
You were just telling me about you have trouble staying sober. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't have trouble staying sober. I had trouble getting sober originally. I wanted to stop smoking, drinking, using other drugs because I wasn't doing anything with myself. I mean, when I got sober I was 21, so I was 21 and I had, literally nothing to show for myself. I barely ever had money in the bank. I never had a job that I could keep. I didn't really feel like I even had a personality. It started to really, really suck.
And you were like 21?
I was 21 when I originally got sober, yeah. That's when I first decided to.
I feel like, they say your frontal cortex doesn't finish developing till you're 26. So it's like, when you're real young, like 18, 19, you're really easily influenced by people. Like, your brain's still not developed all the way. So maybe it just took you that long to realize what you were doing to yourself.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know. I wish that I would have realized what it was doing to me sooner. I also wish that I would have waited till I wish I wouldn't have messed my brain up before I started to, before it was done developing. You know what I mean? You say you're 26 when your brain stops developing?
Yeah, so my brain literally just stopped developing.
Makes sense, I can tell.
I went through a... well, I would think my brain stopped developing at like 8. No, but, yeah, I had some addiction problem too, but now I haven't gotten high past weed in like 8-9 years, something like that. I don't know. Well, let's see. 7 years? 7 years. That sounds about right. Yeah, it's just not worth it, when you get like a dependency on something. So is it gonna mess you up if I drink in front of you?
No. Do your
thing,
man.
in front
Do
of
your
you?
thing. My whole family drinks and smokes.
Nice.
Not smokes, just drinks. But
we won't.
But
fuck you up.
no, that's fine.
Okay, good. This makes me a nicer person. Really, honestly.
Good, you need it then.
I have been out for like 4 days, and I've been such an asshole to everybody. I've just been pissed off all day. And it's not like I didn't have a reason, because people were being assholes. But when I smoke weed, I just couldn't let it all go.
Yeah. No, I've definitely heard that before. That's definitely a common... Oh, excuse me. Common trend with people. I mean, all my friends still smoke and stuff. I never stopped hanging out with them because of it. When I first got sober, it was difficult for me to still hang out with all my friends that...
Well, when they're blowing it in your face.
Yeah, exactly. It was tempting, you know what I mean? I'd always go over and I'd hang out with my friend's house, who we would always hang out and, you know, get high and drunk and whatever else.
Now you have no problem at all?
No, not at all. I mean, it took me probably like 6 or 7 months of being sober before I could go back to, his house and not feel really, really tempted, because I felt like I'd built something. I didn't want to lose that. You know, I was starting to actually have money in the bank, start to actually have a personality, you know.
It's like that, you know, like the 12-step program, they get the buttons or whatever.
The chips.
Yeah, it's like, I got a chip, I can't lose this fucking chip. It means nothing, you know?
You can't lose your... Yeah, no, honestly, it's a physical rendering of, like, the progress that you make. Because I did go to AA, I got my 12 chips and stuff.
Did you ever hear that? There's that one stand-up. The guy was like, "This is my step ladder. I never knew my real ladder."
Wait, what is it?
He says, "This is my step ladder. I never knew my real ladder." He's like, I knew that one time he supported up to 3 people. And last time I heard, he was in a 12-step program.
What, the chips are his ladder?
Step ladder, like stepdad. You know, this is my step ladder. I never knew my real ladder. Get it?
Oh, it's supposed to be your step... Oh, okay.
Stepdad.
Okay, I gotcha.
I never knew my real ladder. And he's like, I knew he supported up to 3 people one time. Shit's fucking funny. He's like, last time I heard, he was in a 12-step program. Yeah, I went through rehab for 14 months, man.
Did you?
14-month program.
Holy hell. What were you into?
I was just one of those people that couldn't be sober. So it wasn't like one thing. It was pills, or like I would go on binges of doing like all methadone and then doing Xanax or whatever.
Whatever was around in the neighborhood.
Yeah, and then once that ran out, I had to find something else. You know, I never I did heroin, but I never injected it. I only did it like 2 times. I just snorted it and smoked it.
Okay.
Yeah, but man, glad I don't do any of that shit anymore. I got too many responsibilities.
We got a daughter, right?
This son. Yeah, a lot of people call him a daughter because he has long hair. So people are like, "Oh, your daughter's cute." I'm like, he is.
You're like, oh god, oh Jesus. He's not old enough to know that that's offensive yet.
Your hair, I like your hair, man.
Oh, thank you. I was actually just about to cut it.
No, don't do it. I'm actually growing my hair out, and I looked at yours. I was like, you know what? That kind of just reinforced, I'm gonna grow it out. I'm like, he can pull it off. I can do it.
This is happening.
Yeah. I've never done it, so you got to do it. I feel like you got to do one time in your life, because you never know.
Long hair. What it'll look like. It's funny you say that. My one friend Steven has had the same fucking hairstyle since I've known him, and we've been friends since we were 12, dude. And it pisses me off because I'm like, dude, he's got this crazy curly hair, and whenever he grows it out, it looks kind of like an afro, and I'm like, dude, you could do so much with that, You could have an afro. You could get dreads or something. You would look badass. And he's like, no, I'm not. And he doesn't even grow it out a little bit. It was to the point where I made a what was that website where GoFundMe. I made a GoFundMe page, and it was just a picture. No, thank you. Of Steven, and it was just $5 million to get Steven to grow his hair out. If I get this $5 million, Steven will have an afro. Stupid little paragraph I made. I'm sick of looking at his stupid fucking head.
That's funny. Yesterday, somebody asked me. They're like, they pulled up something. It was like a foot long thing. And they're like, how much? It's like, hey, if I give you $100, would you shove this up your butt? And I was like, no way.
Well, what was it? How thick was it? What was the girth?
It was maybe inch and a half. It was maybe 2 inches, maybe 2.5. I don't know. It's like, solid.
Extreme, like
It would've been a
bigger than a
big dick.
cucumber.
Yeah, bigger than a cucumber, and it was probably like a foot long, 1.5 feet. I don't know. It was this big thing. I can't remember what it was he was holding, but he's like, would you take $50? I said no. He said $500.
$50?
Yeah, I said no. He said $500. I said no. He said 5,000. I said no way. He said
No way at 5,000.
He said 50 grand. I said let's do this thing. At 5,000, yeah, $5,000 doesn't last that long.
Mm-hmm. No, it doesn't. It really doesn't. Once you get old enough, you realize that like even $1,000 really seems like a lot of money, but it's like.
Remember $100? Oh my gosh! If you got $100, you're the richest person in the world.
Yeah, when you were like a kid. Oh yeah, dude. But like now, like I could spend $100 in like seconds at Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
I could spend $5,000 at Walmart. So
right
quick.
here, right now. I could just click on Amazon. Just
Yeah, you wouldn't even have to get the fuck up.
no.
You literally, I admire you for saying that you would have shoved it up your ass for 50 grand because did you ever have a conversation with somebody and you are just like, oh, how much would it take you to eat this spider? And they're like, no amount of money in the world, literally nothing. And
you're
it's
full of shit.
Yeah, exactly. Like, don't sit there and act fucking classy. You know what I mean? Like, if I would eat any spider for like $100,000.
I would eat a tarantula alive.
Eventually, yeah,
For
absolutely.
enough money?
Just one solid bite and then
And
it's dead.
and then you're
Exactly.
just eating a
And if you're getting like
furry spider.
$100,000, then you easily have enough money to
That's
cure
like
the poison that you
that's like a
get.
couple years off work,
Dude, I feel like if you took and played your cards right, you could do a lot with $100,000. Like you could start a new life. You know what I mean? You could do that if you were smart enough with like $10,000. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Go,
I mean,
go
you
to the
could-
right place. Invest it
yeah.
in the stock market or something. And it's like we literally just went from like shoving stuff to your ass for $5,000 for like this is a decent idea. Let's go to the stock market and
All
see
right,
what we can shove
let's
up
get
our
this
asses.
shit started. I'm sure there's somebody who wants to see, something up my. No, there's too many people that are willing to do it for free, though.
Oh yeah,
So
definitely. But if you know your art, then I feel
That's
like
true.
I feel like I've heard people say before, like, if you're good at something, don't do it for free. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know, if you like getting stuff shoved up your ass and you're good at it, like, I don't fucking know, don't do it
Yeah.
for free. Find someone that's gonna pay you.
well, if that's your case, you could be like sneaking drugs across the border or something. You know what I mean?
Boof it, dude.
Yeah, just couple, just make good money. You ever had like that girl
Make
that
good money.
like I'm not like a big anal guy. Like I've done it with like one girl, but like it's not like my huge thing. But there's this like whenever I come across a girl, she's like, I would never do it, never, no. I'm like, I have to fuck you in the butt. she says that. I'm like, I gotta do it.
It's become an objective now. You
It makes
just
me
wanna
want it
see,
so much more.
You want to see how much of a never that actually is.
Yeah, because I'm sure it could happen.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean,
You get somebody drunk enough.
yeah. Yeah.
Or get somebody enough money, just like we said, for $50,000. It's like, you know what I mean? I'll shove something in my ass, whatever.
Yeah, that's true. Oh shit, what was I gonna? I was gonna fucking say something.
I couldn't tell you what it is. I wish I could, but I couldn't.
Oh, where are you going? And tell me about your trip out west.
I don't have anywhere specific. I'm really looking forward to the. Like, I saved up a good bit of money, and I'm really, really looking forward to the freedom of not really having an agenda. You know what I mean? I'm really excited to just be able to go wherever I want to go, whenever I want to go. That being said, I kind of want to have like a not specific baseline. That sounds so weird saying it like that, but just like I'd like to hit a bunch of national parks, and along the way, if there's somewhere that I want to stop, then I'll just stop there, because I got a national park pass for Christmas this year. So
What's that?
it's basically like you can get into the parks for. I think you can get into the parks for free, either that or for a really discounted price.
Don't you get into national parks anyways for free, or
No.
what?
National parks are expensive, dude.
Like what? Like the Grand Canyon? Well, I guess that's so big. How are
I
they?
think so. I'm pretty sure you have to pay for it.
What?
I mean, think about it, dude. It's, it's...
That's
If they can make money off of it, they're probably going to.
I mean, yeah, that's true. People there's some mountains, people like just own the big hiker trails. Like people love hiking this mountain. Somebody will buy the whole thing.
Yeah,
charge
make money
tickets.
off of it. Why the hell not? But yeah, and so I'd like to do that, and I'd like to do kind of bounce between national parks and comedy clubs, because I think that'll be. I wanted to get into comedy before I went onto this trip, because I was like, this will be a really, really fun thing to do when I'm out there, and I'd like to find a new career. So, something within entertainment, comedy, writing, acting, whatever it may be. So I just, it'll be cool to be in comedy clubs out west where there's actually a big scene for that happening.
Well, you gonna go to LA then?
I'd like to go to LA. I'd like to go to Vegas, because I mean, there's so many comedy clubs in Vegas. So I'd be able to. I'd be able to go to a comedy club every night.
You got to go to the store in LA. What's it called? God damn. One that Joe Rogan goes to like every fucking week. I don't know. There's some really good comedy clubs where they have like famous people performing like every week. You know what I mean?
Comedy Cellars? Is that what you're talking about? I've seen a couple different things there at the Comedy Cellars. They just did that thing, Bumpin' Mics, with Jeff Ross and Dave Attell. And that was, I know at least one of those was in the Comedy Cellar. I've seen Louis C.K. do stuff in the Comedy Cellar before.
Oh, you like Louis C.K.?
I do like him. I'm not huge into him. He's definitely in the hot seat
He's
right
very
now.
talented. Nah, not so much anymore. I mean, he's getting off the hot seat. Like, I feel like he just kind of got swept up in like the mix of everything, because it was like all at once, like 20 people got busted,
Mm-hmm.
and his was definitely wrong, but on the scale, it's like not near like Harvey Weinstein level,
I'm not too familiar on the whole Harvey Weinstein case. I know that he definitely was convicted of whatever it was he was convicted, but
I don't think he got convicted.
didn't he?
Well,
I thought he did. I could be wrong.
he's
I
in.
guess.
Last time I heard,
really.
he was in some kind of rehab or something, so they can't so he has to wait to come out before they. But maybe he did. I mean, look.
I honestly, I couldn't
But
tell you.
what he was doing is he's the owner of Miramax, which they make like what's that one movie called?
I know they make a lot of movies.
Yeah, they make a lot of movies. Pulp Fiction was one of the biggest ones that I know of. But yeah, he would make like the actresses bang him to get the parts,
Nice.
So yeah, these hot actresses be like, you could either fuck me or never get into show business, and then if they could never tell on him, because first of all he would deny it, and then he would ruin their whole career. So it's like, if you say something and people don't believe you, your whole career is ruined. So it was really bad. And then there's cases of him actually like physically like raping someone against their will too.
That's wrong. That's 110% wrong. The one thing I will say about though is like, what he's doing in the first place isn't right, with offering these acting parts for sex. But like, you're putting yourself in a difficult situation if you accept the role by having sex with the guy. You know what I mean? It's
so hard to get ahead in that industry.
Right, it is. And honestly, if I was a girl, I probably would have sex with him for the part. Honestly, like you said, it's difficult to get ahead in that kind of industry, and you're probably really, really desperate for the role. But my point is you're putting yourself in a difficult situation by, if you wanted to convict him, you're putting yourself in a difficult position. It's like, well, you accepted the role.
Yeah, I mean, It's just not a good place. It shouldn't have to be that way, you know?
No, it shouldn't.
The girl should never have to make that choice. It should be, are you the best person for the role? You get the job, you know? It shouldn't, like, just when someone uses their authority over top of someone for sex, that's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
It's the same as a boss saying the only way you're going to work here is if you give me a blowjob.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
That's not right.
And that kind of stuff happens all the time.
It's their livelihood. You know, like, that's, like, if they just have sex with you, then they could only have to do it one time, and then their career is set, you know, they're good. But it's, I don't know.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Depending on how big the movie is.
I don't know who...
But for a start, I mean...
I don't know any of the girls he had sex with, but yeah, it's fucked up. Louis C.K., though, he's so fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, he's awesome.
Very talented, and that's why I was very upset when I heard that, like, this shit come out, 'cause he was, like, my favorite comedian.
Really? Did you watch
At
his
the
show? That show, Louis?
Mm-mm.
That he had? That show was pretty funny. It was,
How many... See, I didn't know he had a show. How many seasons
it was
did it
called
have?
Louis. I don't know, but honestly...
Oh, that's right. Because I heard that he had a reference in that to him jerking off in front of someone. And so
I'm
they were
sure
like,
he did somewhere. I mean, you've heard the
and I'm
Louis
pretty
C.K.
sure
stuff. He's always talking
I'm pretty
about
sure
his
he
comedy.
did that like in one of his bits. See, that's like you were telling me the other day, like don't make jokes about dicks. But then I thought of him, and like he makes a joke about a dick, but it's so good that you can get away with it.
Right. Yeah. When I was saying that, it's like I know specifically in Lancaster. Every time I've heard somebody tell a dick joke or a jerk off joke, it just doesn't go over well. It just I don't know what it is. I guess it's just the crowd. But if it's like you said, if it's really really funny, fucking go for it. You know what I mean? You can't.
Well, I don't know. At the end of the day, like it's like I feel like I have a fan base out there. I just gotta find them, you know? Because there are people that find some of my shit extremely funny, and then there are people that find it repulsive. So, like, you know, there's people out there.
Right. Well, I think I might have mentioned to you when we were in Harrisburg. That kind of stuff goes over better in Harrisburg because, I mean, people say some just raw, terrible things, and it's funny. A lot of the times it's really, really funny. You know, do you know that guy Damian Robinson? He always comes up with a really, really big fucking wine glass. I mean, it's enormous.
He's fucking funny.
He's hilarious. He did a set in Lancaster. It was the first time I seen him in Lancaster, and he barely got any reactions. And his stuff is like, he makes these gruesome jokes. He made this joke about like having sex with a cop's wife in there, and then so that the guy came home and he started acting like he was gay, like there to do her hair or something like that. And he was like, man, like, you guys aren't reacting. What's going on? Am I not funny? And this one chick's like, no, not really. He was pissed. I mean, it was kind of funny. Like,
yeah, I was telling a joke there, and I told the punchline.
In Harrisburg or in
Lancaster? No, in Lancaster.
Uh-huh.
And normally, if I was in Harrisburg, I would have got a laugh.
Right.
Every time I've done it in Harrisburg, I got a laugh. I did it there. It was nothing. I had to be like, that was really fucked up what I just said, right? And then they started laughing.
Yeah.
I had to like be like, I don't really believe that. It's just funny, you know?
You just kind of have to apologize for it a little bit.
Then they thought it was funny.
Yeah, they're like, oh, he's not a complete piece of garbage. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny you say that. I was making a joke about, I made a joke, and I said, my dad told me never to buy a stripper a drink. And I was like, because it's a strip club. You gotta be treating them like people. And I just heard like a couple, oh. And I was like, I just want you guys to know that's a joke, like, I need you guys to know, like, that's not my character. Like, that actually kind of was part of it. I wanted to be like, go back on it and be like, I'm not that guy, I thought it'd be kind of funny to do that, but when I was in Harrisburg, I told that same joke, and everybody laughed, and it's just how it goes there in Harrisburg. That kind of stuff just goes a lot better. Like, I have this one joke that I talk about, people living every day like it's their last. And I was like, people are like, oh, I live every day like, it's my last, and, well, you ask them, it's like, did you go to work today? And they're like, yeah, and it's like, well, then you didn't live each day like it's your last. What the fuck are you talking about? You know,
That's
you're going to
true.
clock
You
in
did
on
be-
your last day,
I don't know what I'd be doing if it was my last day.
but you certainly wouldn't be clocking into fucking Texas Roadhouse.
I mean, I could tell you what I'm thinking, but no one should ever know that.
No one should ever. Exactly. It's dark. It's really, really
dark.
dirty shit. Well, that's what I said in the joke, and I was just like, I'm going to tell you right now, if I had 24 hours left on this planet, I promise you, I'm raping.
Yeah.
And they just said,
I was
like,
just gonna say I would be shooting people just because, but
just to do it, yeah, something
I've
horrible.
never shot people, so
You probably shouldn't say that.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but if I told that joke in Harrisburg, I just know it wouldn't go over well at all. But I told it in, or if I told it in Lancaster, it wouldn't go as well. But if I told it in Harrisburg and it went a lot better. I think knowing your crowd is a really really smart move. Like, I've seen people before
Then
come to comedy clubs just to watch.
There's just like you can say the same joke, but just change like one or two words, and it makes it like mean something way different. Like you could seem like a creeper, or you could seem like somebody who's just really being funny. You know? Like there's some of those jokes I'm thinking of right now, where I'm like, I want to say it, but I don't know how to say it without making myself like everyone like disgusted. You know, I'm trying to find a way to say it
without sounding terrible, like a bad, not likable person.
Yeah, but like I feel like my whole life like I've always been like people don't like if I say how I really feel, like people get uncomfortable, like some of them, because I just like say whatever I feel. Like I say what I feel, I say it, and people are like, oh, what the fuck. So like I feel like that's why it's good for comedy, because like that's where you can just say what you feel, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what you're there for. And so like my whole life I've been like that. I'm most outspoken. You know, people be like, you say the weirdest shit. Like, I'm like, yeah, that's just me. Like,
well, that's good that you're not.
yeah, so that's
that
like
you don't
when
feel
you told
bad.
me that, you're like, people. You said, you know, don't take advice from comics. The next day I heard when comics tell you advice, usually they're trying to make you more like themselves. It's like, no, you really need to be like who you want to be on stage, you know. And so, like, for me,
definitely.
it's just like I'm just gonna go with my crazy persona of myself, you know, like myself just amplified 100 times
to make it more entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing I would say about that is like when that guy told me, you know, don't take advice from other comics. I think it's like you said, they're trying to make them. They're trying to be like, oh, this is how I do it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's
That's stupid.
comedy, in my opinion, and this is from 4 months of experience, so take it with like 8 grains of salt. But it's your act, you know, it's you that's doing that. So if you would try and do an act like somebody else does it, it probably wouldn't look very natural.
You've only been doing this for 4 months?
Uh-huh.
Wow. Like, the first time I saw you, it was like 2 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
I could not have tell. You were really funny that day.
Oh, thank you.
I don't remember any of your jokes, but I remember you were funny.
I wouldn't expect you to remember any of my jokes.
Yeah.
It's difficult to remember people's jokes,
But, like-
especially because it's late and shit.
Oh, yeah. Like, the only person's joke I really remember is School Shooter.
Andrew.
Yeah, he tells the same jokes every time. So, obviously...
You'll run into people like that.
Yeah. Like, I feel like I've heard, like... I listened to, like, the Joe Rogan podcast, and he's, like... He'll talk about... he'll have other comedians.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's been doing it for, like, 20 years or whatever. Or... Yeah. Or longer, actually.
He's
Close
been in
to 30.
entertainment forever. Didn't he used to do Fear Factor? That was
Yeah.
him, right?
Yeah, he said he started comedy when he was 22, and he's, like, 50, so...
He's got like 30 years of
But
experience.
yeah, he said that there's people that just do that same joke. Like, they get laughs, so they're like, why should I ever change it? But, like, you always need to be trying to improve, I feel, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Like, my first set, I didn't prepare, and I did terrible. My second one, I prepared, like, tried really hard. So it's like every time I do a little bit, every time I do better, you know?
Yeah, regardless if you definitely, even if you're getting even if you're not getting as many reactions as you did one of the previous times, I mean, like, I don't know if you agree with this, but you're getting more experience up on stage. Even if you do a bad job, now you
know what not to do.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Because you have to have those bad sets.
You have to look at yourself objectively and be like, if this person said this to me, would I laugh? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I never thought about that. But
yeah, if you were watching yourself, would you laugh at yourself, or would you be like, "Oh, come on"? You know? Yeah, so there's some people like that, where I'm like, where's the joke? Like, I don't know. I feel like they're just trying to be funny, being themselves, but it's like you have to actually prepare for this. Like, you have to actually think it out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It's like an act. It's like you're acting. You know,
I heard
it's an act. That's what it is. It's not like you're just. Some people can do it, be loose off the cuff. But they still, I don't know, that's very rare. Like, there's some comedians like Joey Diaz, he like has something prepared, but then he can just go rip off the cuff and just blah blah blah, be super funny.
But even then, you're still having something prepared. I mean, it's one thing to just wing it for 5 minutes, but I mean, if you've seen people have like a comedy special on Netflix or something, it's not like they just went up there and winged it for a fucking hour. I mean, that's...
Yeah, so you think you're gonna like stay in comedy?
I don't know.
It takes a long time, so if you're doing good, you're on the right track.
Thank you. At this point, I'd always like to do it, you know? I think it's a good foundation for where I'm trying to go in life. I mean, I'm a welder right now. Well, I literally today is my first day as somebody that's unemployed because I'm about to do this trip.
You were a welder.
But, I was a welder for almost 3 years. And I got into it because I got into it before I got sober, just so that I could have enough money to... That was funny, your burp was like contagious. I got into it because I just wanted to be able to afford like an apartment on my own, you know? I didn't get into it because it was something that I genuinely enjoyed doing. And now that I'm sober and I feel like I've learned more about myself, I know what I actually enjoy. I'm starting to actually develop my own personality, you know? That sounds weird being 23 years old and saying that, but I mean, I didn't really have much of that when I was just getting fucked up all the time.
I feel like, I don't know, when I was getting fucked up, I was like, it was between the ages of 18 and 19, and then 20, 21, I was, holy shit. Stuff that I just realized, like, things that I thought happened, like, just a couple years, it's like 4 years ago. Like, I could never say that, like, oh, this happened 6 years ago, this happened 4 years ago, because I was so young. Like, you can't really be like, oh, did this 7 years ago, because you can, but, like, I don't remember what I did when I was 16. But, like, for me, like, when I was 22, that's, like, when I really started to, like, become my own person. Because you are who you are, but, like, between the ages of, like, 18 and 22, it's a freaking roller coaster. You just, like, morph into somebody else. Those were, like, the hardest years right
So
there.
you think that those are your developing years?
Yeah, like, that's why I'm,
adulthood?
like, I'm really, like, with, like, the legal system, 18 years old, you get in trouble, that's on your record forever.
Yeah.
I feel like that's not fair. I feel like you should be at least, like, 22. Like, I feel like you should still get in trouble, but the stuff shouldn't stay on your record because...
Well, if it's a misdemeanor, it doesn't stay on your record forever.
Oh, I have a DUI from when I was...
Well, I
was 18 years old, and it will be with me forever. Forever, like... Like,
DUI is a different situation.
Sometimes it doesn't, like, they only look back, like, 7 years, but, like, if they really want to know, it'll be there for, like, DUI, and then, I had weed. So that'll be on the record, too. Misdemeanors stay forever in Pennsylvania. I asked my lawyer about this.
I didn't know that.
He said there's no... The only thing is if you do... it's called, like, what's it called?
ARD.
ARD. Yeah, that's like the only way to get it expunged. Well, you have
Was
to
that your
do
first
ARD,
DUI?
and then you have to go. That's for your like a first offense in anything. You do ARD, and then you have to like have like go in front of a judge, and they have to like judge you and say like, are you worthy to have this
Do what they do.
expunged? So, and it's a lot of money, and I didn't do it because I was just turned 18, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I got busted with pot. Like that's all it was. It wasn't even pot. It was pipes. You know, it was like two
Just a
bowls. It was like two different bowls. It was
Some
like a
weed
bowl.
residue in there.
It was like a bowl, and then like it was like a bread bong. It was like we took a 2 liter, cut the bottom out, and put like a bread bag, taped it around so you could like, I don't know, you get it like you put like a tin foil at the top, then you light it, and you pull down on the plastic on the bread bag, and it's like a lung.
That is some seriously incredibly stonerly engineered stuff.
It's resourceful. That thing will get you
incredibly
high as
resourceful.
fuck.
I should hope so. It sounds like you put some time into it.
Oh yeah, it gives you so much
awesome.
smoke. Like you can't
Yeah.
possibly. Like it takes you like 3 hits to clear the whole thing.
So it's like a rigged up gravity bomb, in a way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, it works really well though. You know, it only cost $1 for the 2 liter, and then $1 for the bread. So
Which is all you have after you spent your $20.
so then
on
you have soda and bread to eat while you're fucking high.
a whole loaf's worth of bread that you can soak in Mountain Dew.
Oh man,
You got some
I remember
crazy
being a
cotton
kid,
mouth.
and I was at my girlfriend's house, and her brother, he got $5 because he okay, like my girlfriend made all the toast they had. Just, like her dad said, make a bunch of toast, so she fried up all the bread. You know, made all that toast, and I was like, how are we gonna get rid of this? And my girlfriend's brother is like, I'll eat it all. It's like a whole loaf. And his dad was like, you can't do it. He's like, I'll give you $5 so you eat that whole thing. And he ate every piece. It was like a whole freaking loaf, like
Jesus
almost,
Christ.
for $5. And then he went out and bought a joint. Came back and got high. Like, so he like did the munchies beforehand. It was
Yeah,
really
you pretty much. But it was worth it though. It was
$5
it was
$5
worth it.
for like a whole loaf. I don't know if I could do that.
Honestly,
It's pretty much a whole loaf.
the struggle to get stoned when you're a kid without a job though is incredibly
When you don't know
difficult.
anybody, nobody trusts you. I mean, I don't know.
Nobody trusts you. You're a scoundrel.
I don't know. People always are like, "Are you a narc?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just me." Like, how do you look like a narc? You know what I mean? I don't know. So
I feel like if you're selling weed, you're probably just paranoid about fucking everybody.
oh yeah,
And if you're selling weed
Yeah.
to kids, you don't know which kid is a
you're a
little bitch.
scumbag because you don't do that. Don't give weed to kids. You know, let the parents do that.
Let them steal their parents' weed.
Yeah, let them steal their parents' weed. You
Soon
know?
they'll be able to buy it from a
I don't know. They
convenience
should be
store.
buying it from other teenagers.
Oh yeah, that's the way to do it, dude.
That's what I'm doing.
You can always buy. I remember not being able to buy weed one time because my drug dealer was grounded. Like, a really funny situation. I was like,
It's so funny.
it was like people
I was-
make weed out to be a drug, and it's like I couldn't buy it because my drug dealer failed his fucking Spanish test. You know what I mean? Like, you make
Last night I was actually like, the guy who sells me mine is like, he's my best friend.
Mhm.
So it's like this is like no risk at all, which I love.
Yeah, that's the best.
I just go over by like hang out, and I was like complaining because I wanted him to get the Cash App. You know, you could just send money online, just press a couple buttons, boop, pay him. And I'm like, now I gotta go walk all the way over the street and like go to the ATM and get like get the money out and then like have to break it down somehow for you. And I could
Get a
just be like,
surcharge from the ATM too. Like
he's like, you can't expect a drug dealer to to like accept online payments. I'm like, why not? Come on, that's what I would do.
It's 2019, dude. That'd be way easy.
Yeah, I mean, I have a babysitter. That's how I pay her. Just boop boop. Psh.
Oh, I thought you meant
Let's
in
go,
weed.
Mom.
I was like, cool.
Yeah, I wish I could pay her in weed.
That'd be easier.
I wish we'd just start having sex that way. I didn't have to pay her anymore. That's what I need to do.
There you go. Just make it like a porno, like any porno. Just whenever you show up, be like, "Hey, I'm outside," you know.
No, I should be like dressed up like a baby, like.
Oh Jesus, that's a risk, dude. That's if she's into weird fetishes and stuff, you know, and you don't know that.
What? Stuck at my thumb.
Damn it, Bjorn! Just because I'm a babysitter doesn't mean I have a baby fetish. Whatever in God's name that is. Like that person on TLC. Did you ever see that? That person that likes to dress up like a baby. And My Strange Addiction, that show, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like the one person I've ever seen that for.
There's like the one dude that likes to be treated like a cat. He just like crawls around on the back of the sofa. Yeah. He like shits in a litter box.
Yes.
Like,
oh man.
Oh my gosh, what the fuck is wrong with you if that's you? I mean, if there's a video of that.
Like, you can't kink shame somebody. You know, like, if that's what you're into, man.
Well, I don't know. I feel like how kinks start is if, like, you're into a girl. Because I've had one or two. It took a couple years to develop them, but if you're really into a girl and she's into it, it kind of gets you into it. That's kind of how I think it works.
I could see that.
Because, like, I have a kid, and when she was pregnant, I was real into pregnant chicks. I was like, pregnant chicks are so hot. And then once she had the kid, I was like, I really am not attracted to pregnant girls anymore. It was weird.
Do you think that's because you had, like, a love for the girl that was
probably
pregnant
I was
with
in
your
love
kid,
with her,
you know what
so
I mean?
yeah,
Something
probably.
new.
But like that's like, but if she was like real into like bondage or something like that, I probably would have got into bondage. You know,
You wouldn't have had a choice. I mean,
yeah, that's
you
true.
came home and she would have tied you up.
I found out she was into like she watched bondage porn like way after we broke up. I was like, you could have told me. I would have been scared. I don't know if I could.
You would have had to try it.
I'd have tried it. I mean, I always like feel like I could do that, but that's a lot of work. Like, I get tired when I'm having sex. Like, it's like I just lay here.
You do your thing. I'll do mine. Just pop a little blue pill and let her have at it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, man. Oh man. Oh wait, what was I gonna look up? Oh yeah, the cat man.
I envy you, dude. I mean, like, sex is a lot of work. Sex is a treasure. It's a treat.
Yeah, it is a lot. It is work, especially if you want to be good at it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's like anything else, though. Yeah, that's a good.
Oh, it's this man who thinks he's a cat.
Yes.
88,000. I guess I probably can't play the audio, but
We're gonna hear the audio really loud. Oh, there it is.
no.
So we're not even gonna hear the audio. We're just gonna see some
I don't know
guy.
if I can play the audio since this isn't monetized, because I'm not making money off of it. I think I can play it. Because I don't make money off my YouTube channel. I just run off donations.
I feel like this isn't the video.
Yeah, this isn't the video. This guy actually is just fucking with us.
It's just trying to be funny.
Oh shit!
So you're not all like, damn, that person looks scary.
What the fuck?
That's like some. She looks like she belongs to a tribe of some kind. Really,
yeah.
because that looks
This
very
girl
well done.
tattooed her whole face with like some kind of like jaguar design, and she's got whiskers implanted, and her teeth are sharpened, so she looks like a cat. And then
Did you ever see people that tattoo the inside of their
totally
eyelids?
obsessed cat man, Fred Willard. I thought that was a girl. I guess he's just fat. Wow, look at this guy. Dennis's landlord. Do you hear this?
Yeah. Whoa! He lives in the back of the hardware store?
He's a cat that could talk, though. I mean, he's a talking cat.
But I'm at a loss of
Look at how
words.
many views. 5.5 million views. Holy
yeah.
shit! What a freak!
Jesus Christ!
Look at his eyes. He even like messed with his eyes.
Yeah, dude, he probably tattooed the inside of his eyes so that he could look like a cat. I saw this kid post on Facebook literally yesterday. He was like, does anybody know where I can get the inside of my eyelids my eyes tattooed purple? And I was like, why would you? Oh,
I don't
man.
think you tattoo your eyes.
There was this girl that said, oh no, Kingdom Ink and Lidditz will do it, and this other person was like, no, they won't. And she said, oh, well, so-and-so got it done, ask her. And I looked at the girl whose profile she said got it done, and her eyes were like, the whites of her eyes were black. It was freaky, dude. It was really freaky.
I would just say you can buy like the lenses, right?
I guess if you want it done, yeah, you can. I mean,
Yeah,
I guess
just
if you
do
want that
just
permanently.
wear the lenses, you know. That way it's not permanent. Like, cause actually, you're from Lidditz.
Yeah.
You've been to
Originally
the.
Harrisburg, but
Oh, okay. So you've been to the Champ?
Champions Bar and Grill.
No, it's that place where they used to have, like they have they used to have concerts and things.
No,
It's in
I only lived in Harrisburg until about 3rd grade.
Oh, okay. What's that? Lemoyne. It's in Lemoyne, so it's like Harrisburg, but not technically.
Oh, okay.
But where was I going there? From there, we were talking about that. Oh yeah, I don't remember what we were talking about there. Anyways, you were saying you're from Harrisburg, from Lidditz. I have no idea.
Well, that's where my mom lived. It's where my mom and my dad
Okay,
lived.
yeah. I used to go to the Champ. Yeah, I saw this band there one time, and like all the members of the band, they had those lenses in, made their whole eyes black, pitch black. You couldn't see anything at all. And then the singer, his were white. So his eyes looked like clear white, and he had like his arm painted like up to like his mid bicep, and like he was like he'd be screaming, like singing, and then like this one part it got really creepy. They like slowed down the music, started playing real slow, and he like said like it was like a he was speaking in Latin.
Jesus Christ!
He started speaking like this dark, creepy Latin. I guess what he said was like a spell or something.
I would not be okay with
reciting.
that.
Like, you didn't know it. You were there. It's too late.
No, I would be like,
I didn't.
Someone
find
needs
out,
to be
I
sued.
didn't
You
find
don't
out
just
there
curse
was
me.
a spell that he was saying until afterwards.
Yeah, until after you fucking grew a 6th arm and your skin turned green.
Well, I mean, he already said it, so the damage is done. So that was like 2 years ago. I don't have an extra arm.
Yeah.
My penis did get a little bit bigger, so.
Well, then that's cool.
I'm kidding.
Oh my god! Thanks, buddy.
Imagine just like super creepy, but it was like he would be a good guy. You just have to be creepy though to do it, but we're actually good guys, you know.
There's a reason that this was an expensive concert. Put a lot of time into this here spell. There's a surprise at the end.
They're like super nice guys. I think I met the guy. He's pretty nice.
I'm sure he is, but
It's an act, you know.
Yeah,
It's an act as well.
I
don't know. I don't believe in any
witchcraft,
none.
voodoo, none of that stuff.
None.
I don't know that I do either, but to be honest, I haven't really been exposed to the results of people that have undergone voodoo or witchcraft or anything like that, and I also haven't known anybody that's really done any of it, so I haven't seen any cold hard proof of it in my time, but
As I'm saying, I've never seen anything, and it's like, I don't know, with how many people have died, you know, billions of people have died.
You
So
mean
there should
just
be
throughout
ghosts
history?
everywhere. Yeah, just throughout history. Like, I don't know, you never hear people getting jacked by a ghost. You never hear that happening.
yeah, that's a good point. Well,
That's never happened. They were like, oh, Bill died, you know, got killed by that ghost, you know. That doesn't
yeah,
happen.
I mean, it doesn't happen that we know of. I don't know though, dude. Like, there's a part of me that wants to believe in.
I feel like a long time ago when they didn't have like science to prove, like everything anything can be proven. Like, you're like, okay, I'll give you an example, like rain. They didn't know what that was. They just thought it was like
the gods
throwing water at them, and then they're like, oh no, it's just a natural thing. And then they were like, the sun, oh, that's a god. Oh wait, no, it's just a ball of gas. We can prove that it's a ball of gas. Everything, blah blah blah. Oh, okay. And then it's like, oh, well, it's called the god of the gaps. It's like anything that can't be explained, they just say is God. And then, as science progresses, like, we keep proving everything. Everything can be provable. There's nothing that we've encountered that's not provable. Like,
right.
Or it's not like yet. You know, things aren't provable yet. Like, this technology is not there yet.
Still under investigation.
Yeah, but everything can be proven eventually. And it has been proven consistently. Like, so that's like the thing about science, is that you can repeat it every single day. Every day you could be like, you know, prove that, you know, when you mix this and that, this happens. You know, or whatever it might be. Like, that's like with magic, you can't.
You can't prove magic to be real, is what you're saying.
Can't repeat it. That's the thing. To make something scientifically fact, it has to be repeatable. You have to be able to do it again.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
again,
that makes sense.
And get the same result. Like,
right.
That way, like, it's show, okay, like, if I take this lighter and I put it on your skin, it will burn you. That's a scientific fact. I can repeat that every single day and it'll happen.
Yeah, right.
But
right,
if I'm like, okay, I'm going to heal you, I do it one day, I can't do it the next day. Like, it's not like, it could have just been, like, everything has a calculated probability of happening. Like, that's the other thing with circumstance. Like, I could say, you know, God, if you're out there, strike me down. Right? People have said that, and most of the time, it doesn't happen. It could happen. I could say, if you're out there, God, strike me down, and then
coincidentally, you actually get struck in, but it's not going to happen every time.
But like, there's like you can do a form, like you can, like a real scientist could come in here and write out a formula to show the probability of that happening.
Right.
It's a scientific fact that there's, anytime I say, if you're out there, God struck me down, there's a probable chance of me getting struck by lightning, you know?
But it would be very low. It's
like, you can even make a scientific calculation for the probability that you will disappear right now and reappear on Mars. There's a probable chance that could happen. Very slight, but it's you should calculate.
I hope that wouldn't happen.
Oh. Michio Kaku, he's a scientist and he's amazing. He's so smart, and he like makes the things that you think of like, it like blows your mind. So that's interesting, right?
Yeah, that's super interesting. It's interesting to think about that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What I was gonna say really quick is that's like I don't know if you listen to The Doors at all, but Jim Morrison has a song where he says, "You cannot petition the Lord with prayer." Like, you can't ask God to do something and then just have it happen right then and there.
Yeah, he's not a vending machine.
Right, yeah, exactly. All that being said, with science and everything, and I do agree with you, it has to be repeatable. It has to be a scientific fact for something to be scientifically proven.
Right.
In my opinion, yeah, there's a part of me that wants to believe that there is still, I don't know, a certain degree of magic in the world, but even
there's definitely things that can't be explained.
Well, exactly, but
can't
be explained now. You know, it can't be explained at this point in time. Who's to say 500 years in the future we won't know what happens when we die? You know, where do we go? Why there is paranormal experiences that people have with spirits and stuff. You know, maybe there is a connection between this world and the next where we go and we die. Maybe there's not, but I mean, it's right now, to me, that would be considered magic. But going back to what you said, you know, there was a time when something as simple as rain was magic to the Egyptians.
Right.
So I guess that's just this point in time.
I mean, I'm definitely excited to find out, but I hope it's a long, long ways away.
Before you die, or before
I
know the
die.
answer to
Before I
that?
die.
Me too.
I
But
mean,
at the
I'm
same
sure,
time,
I mean, I'm expecting nothing. That way, I'm not disappointed.
well, there you go. I want to live a long, plentiful life, but at the same time, there's a part of me that's extremely excited to die. It sounds so fucked up to say, because it's not like suicidal or anything like that. I really
Right.
genuinely do like my
But
life.
it's like something you can only find out when it happens. You know?
Yeah, it's totally, nobody knows what happens. I read a really
One of the
interesting
great
book on
mysteries.
it.
It's like, in my mind, there's two great mysteries.
What's that? Death, I guess, and what else?
Where do we come from, and where do we go?
Yeah, that's a
Cotton Eye Joe
good.
said that. No.
Quote Cotton Eye Joe. Wow, another great philosopher.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah, that's like two things. The only real two things that I could. Well, there's a lot of things, but yeah, I guess it's all stems from that.
All of life, all of the questions that we have,
Yeah,
yeah, it totally stems from that, because that's our entire existence.
yeah.
You know?
Where did it all come from?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there isn't intelligent design because, like, just things with us could be a lot better. Like, we could be designed better.
Just humans
Yeah,
as
humans.
a whole.
Yeah, or like any animal, really. For instance, we breathe and eat out of the same hole, which is a huge flaw because it's like pretty much guaranteeing that a certain percent of people are going to choke to death. Because you eat, how many people choke to death? It happens, you know. We should breathe out of a different hole, really. If you think about it, we
Yeah,
shouldn't eat out of the same
that's
hole.
an interesting thought.
Because that way you could never die from choking, if that was the case.
Well, so I mean, I guess that would come back to evolution. I mean, but
Yeah.
is that something that we would
it's not
evolve
like-
from?
Evolution, it's not like they have a... That's a weird one.
Because I don't know
it's
how
like-
the fuck evolution works.
It's
dude.
almost like evolution is like a living sentient being. Like that's in everything. It's like a consciousness that's in everything. Because, like, how it works is, like, okay, so you got a goldfish, right? And then this goldfish is, like, living. It's like, okay, its primary objective, life's primary objective is to stay alive. That's all it is to stay alive. And how that does that is reproducing to make more and keep the gene going. It's not so much you, it's the being as a whole. That's the whole, like, the humans. Our whole, even if we don't realize it, our biology, like evolution, like life itself, we just want to stay alive. That's it. Like trees, birds, everything evolved to stay alive. To be the best form of itself to stay alive in that condition. Does that make sense? That's what I mean, I'm stupid. I don't know, but I like watch a lot of shit. So that's what I kind of feel like. So, like, you got a goldfish, right? And then this goldfish is like, okay, I'm living in here, and now I see there's a bunch of us are getting jacked by these things. Like, these other creatures keep killing us. So I'm going to evolve to not die. So I'm going to camouflage myself so that they can't see me, and we can survive. You know?
I couldn't. Yeah, I don't even have a guess on how that happens. I wish I did. But,
Well, like-
I mean, that seems like the general idea of it.
It's like provable. Like there were these moths that existed in England during the Industrial Revolution,
Uh-huh.
and they originally were white, and so they would blend in with the like those white. You ever see those white trees? The bark's white,
Yeah, I don't know the name of them,
Kinda
but I
looks
know
like
what
paper.
you're talking about.
but they're white. So they would blend in with those trees. But then during the Industrial Revolution, they didn't have like safety procedures, so they were just emitting all this smoke, and it and it stained the trees, and they turned brown. So now these moths that were white are now visible to predators, And so they started getting jacked by birds and stuff like that. So they were getting killed.
So they turned brown.
They evolved to turn brown, so they survived.
See,
that
my question...
we have recorded data of that.
Oh, I believe it.
So it's like...
My question with that is, how does that happen? Is it one moth that obviously, like, this is...
Well, how it happens is, like... so, like, when we reproduce, right? It's like... or how I've kind of gathered it happens. It's like it's like a copy of us, but everyone, like, when we reproduce and we make, like, my son, he's a 100% copy of, he's got 50% of my genes and 50% of his mom's genes, like 100%. So, like, but sometimes what they do is they copy it. They're making a copy, like scanning my DNA, scanning it, putting it in them, and scanning her DNA, putting it in them. But sometimes something goes wrong, and when they scan it, it comes out the other side fucked up somehow. It happens. It's like a mistake. But sometimes that mistake could mean that the color of your skin is now brown instead of white, right? It's just irregularity. Irregularity. That sounds right. But it happens to be that irregularity, or whatever, disformity is a better word, benefits you. And in that case, if it does benefit you, evolution kicks in and repeats that gene again. No, it's not that. It's that if, so, like, all right, say you and me were polar bears, right? You're the white polar bear, I'm the brown polar bear. Because polar bears, they believe they used to be brown, and then through, like, a dysfunction, like, one of them turned white and the other one turned brown. Well, the white ones have an advantage, so they live, and the brown ones just die out because we're exposed, and so it's harder to, like, attack and get food. You know
okay,
what I mean?
I think I see what you're saying.
So it's just like whatever is like a prominent thing that survives, and the other one dies out, and that's how we change. But it takes a long ass time, you know, like millions of years.
So it sounds like what you're saying is that evolution almost happens by accident.
Yeah.
In a way. Because if you're saying that with polar bears, one of them was white, but that white one ended up surviving because having white fur was a better way of life for the polar bears, that one ended up surviving and it reproduced with other ones, and then its children survived better. Well, the brown ones went and they just died because that it wasn't as good of living conditions.
Right, because if you have a brown bear in, like, you know, Alaska or Antarctica or whatever, I don't know. Are they in Alaska?
Grizzly bears?
No, polar bears.
Oh, I don't know the answer to that. I mean, I know there are places where it's
really,
really cold.
Because I know the penguins are in Alaska, or penguins are in Antarctica.
I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, you got a laptop right in front of you. Find out.
Do it. Find out where polar bears are from, you little bitch.
That's what I came here. What I brought you here for, is to look up shit for me.
Burp and look up where various bears are from. Polar bears live in countries that ring the Arctic Circle: Canada, Russia, the United States, and Alaska, Greenland, and Norway.
I'm pretty sure there's... Look up, are there penguins in Alaska?
Are there penguins in Alaska? Sure, bro.
Because there's a song by Chiodos. You ever heard of Chiodos? It's a band, and they have that song called "There's No Penguins in Alaska." So I've always wondered if that's true or not.
Penguins in Alaska? ? Penguins found in Alaskan waters likely reach the northern hemisphere by fishing boat rather than by swimming.
So it doesn't seem like it's a normal.
No, I
thing.
don't think that. This says does Alaska have penguins?
Well, like I've seen like pictures of like
No, there
penguins
are no
in
penguins.
like Hawaii, like you know what I mean.
Yeah,
Like,
it
there's
happened by accident. Probably hitched a ride on a fishing boat, like it says there. There are
Dude.
no penguins in Alaska.
Have you ever seen penguins swim?
No.
Oh
Is
my
it
god,
funny?
it looks like they're flying. Like honestly, like the way they swim, it looks like they're flying. They're amazing to watch. They're so cool.
Penguins.
You know the only way to tell the difference
Like
between a male-
underwater or above water?
Underwater. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Come a video of that.
That's what I'm looking up now. No, you've sparked my curiosity.
The only way to tell the difference between a male and female penguin is through a genetics test or whatever. They don't have genitalia that you can see.
What do you mean that you can see? Is it all inside of them?
I guess so. Like, okay, so like, do you see a duck's dick? No.
I mean, I don't look
inside
for
of
it.
them. But you can tell the difference between a male and a female by the color. What is that? Is that the
Penguins swimming.
Diving longer and
Yeah.
deeper than any other penguin.
I don't know. There we go. See, like it looks like they're flapping.
Yeah, it does kind of look like that. Well, I mean, I guess
Well, they are
gotta-
flapping,
yeah.
but it looks like it's just up and down flapping. It is. It's so cool looking.
It does look like a lot of fun, to be honest. It looks like fun until you get rocked by a manatee. Or no,
Or a
a
seal.
Oh yeah, a sea lion. That's what I meant, not a manatee.
A
Manatees are
sea
the
lion.
sea
A
cows.
sea lion. Isn't it the same thing?
Does the bird
You
A
meant a
seal.
seal.
wait as a baby hippo?
Wait,
I
right?
don't know.
Wait, do seals eat penguins? No, I guess it would be a sea manatee.
Not like a regular seal. It's not a sea manatee. Sea manatees are the...
Or seals just eat fish.
Intriguing solution.
I think regular... I mean, seals definitely don't eat penguins. Some seals are like the
Okay.
same size as penguins. There's no way that that would work out, like, physically. I do want to look up this one other video that I think you'll enjoy.
There's other birds that eat penguins.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a big fucking bird.
Well, just baby penguins.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a big ass.
Yeah, it doesn't really say. What animal hunts a penguin? Leopard seal.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
So it's like a seal, so that's half right. Half leopard, half seal. What are you looking up?
This Alan Watts video, he's this... I don't know if he was a philosopher or what. Why can't I find this one video? Hold on just a second. It's about why money's not super important and how to... What if money was no object? And just why we should go about life doing what we want to do.
Libertarian view.
What if money was not? See, I don't even know what the hell libertarian is. I wish I did. What is your age? Why do you need to know that, YouTube? Get that on.
Oh yeah, those YouTube questions they've been asking lately.
What's Oliver's situation?
Hold on, I'll put it in on my computer so it'll play.
Okay.
What's it called?
What if money was no object? Alan Watts. This one guy at the comedy club got me into Alan Watts. I shouldn't say I'm into him. I've only watched a couple of his videos, but
I said, what if money was added to Minecraft?
probably just as interesting. Probably actually more views, dude.
Oh, actually, now that you say that, I started watching this TV show.
Mhm.
It's Seth MacFarlane is. He's the guy. I mean,
Yeah, Family Guy.
yeah, made Family Guy. Did you see that new The Orbit
The Orbit.
Orbiter? I think it's called.
What is it? Him?
It's it's like a new Star Trek, basically. Star Trek.
And Seth MacFarlane's in it.
Mm-hmm. He's like actual acting.
Is it comedy or is it?
It's like the Orville, but it's actually really good, man. I didn't watch it at first because I was like, meh. You know, I feel like since he's so famous, he wouldn't have to try that hard, you know? Like
Yeah.
one of those things. But it's actually really cool. Like, they had an episode where there was this one, I'll just give you, for instance, the one episode they came across this, so they're like, they work for like this federation of planets, right?
Okay.
And so they just travel and explore and kind of maintain order in the galaxy or in the universe inside of this whatever. Inside of the
Orbit of planets.
yeah, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's actually what it's called. It's like the Union of Planets or something. But yeah, so he's like a starship. So it's like the new Star Trek kind of, but it's funny. Like there's comedy, but like the one episode they came across a ship that was huge, this giant ship, and inside of it, they docked on it. It was just drifting. It was shut off. It was dead. It was just like drifting through space, and they boarded it, and like inside there was like a whole world of people
That would be cool.
that were like in like way back in time as far as like their technology, and they didn't even realize that they were in a spaceship. Like they were like farmers and shit like that. Like it was like all artificial stuff inside of it, and they found them, and they didn't even know that they were inside. So they had to try to convince these people to realize that they were in a spaceship because the spaceship was just drifting.
Oh,
and
that's
it was
freaky.
going to go into like a sun. It was like going to collide with a star.
Oh, so their whole world was
would have
about to-
been destroyed in like
Yeah,
6
yeah,
months. So
yeah.
they had to try to convince them, like, because there was like a religion, you know,
Yeah.
and so
yeah,
they had to
yeah.
like try to convince them. Oh no! It wasn't a religion. It was just that other people believed that there was more outside of it, and so like those people got put to death, and so they had to like work. It was like so interesting. Like they ended up like showing them evidence, but it was just like
Yeah, that's a pretty cool idea.
yeah, it was like
An
because
entire
like
civilization.
they had to flee their home planet. Battery running low. Oh, okay. Actually, I should plug that in right now.
Okay. That's a really, really cool idea for.
There we go. But yeah, like their planet was about to be destroyed, and it would have taken too long to make it in one lifetime. Like,
To
the
make
space
it-
is
what
so
do you mean?
long, like, to make it to another habitable world, because they were fleeing their home planet, and they had to make it to another planet that could sustain them.
Oh, okay.
And so, it would have taken longer than a normal lifetime to do that. So, they had to build this simulator, whatever, and live on it until they made it. And it would have taken 3 generations. But they lost, they ran into an ion storm, and, like, they lost, like, control power. They lost, like, the engines weren't working anymore. And so they're just drifting, and over hundreds of years, they just forgot where they were.
Huh.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, that does actually sound pretty cool.
Yeah, and
that sounds like a
actually
fun show.
pretty
I'll have
funny.
to check that out.
Yeah, dude, watch it. Oh, okay, I gotta play this. But
Yeah, it's got to be funny because Seth MacFarlane's in it. I mean, he's hilarious. But
that's what I was thinking. Like,
I imagine he would make a good TV show, though. I mean, he does American Dad too.
oh, that's my favorite.
Yeah, American Dad's good. Family Guy and American Dad, I think, are both really funny, but I think American Dad, this is just my opinion, has a better storyline to it. And from what I understand, American Dad is just Seth MacFarlane as the director. I think there was another guy that was one of the directors on Family Guy, and I guess he wasn't a part of American Dad. So I think
I don't think he's a writer though for the show,
Seth MacFarlane. I don't know if he is or not. I mean, I've
because
heard.
I think he's so busy that he just has other people write. But he probably directs it though. Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably has influence, but I watched the commentary and he wasn't in it, so that's like
Oh, okay.
kind of made me think he doesn't really write for it. But I mean, because he at one point he had that Family Guy, you know, and the Cleveland Show. It was
Oh,
like
yeah, I
3
forgot about the
shows at
Cleveland
once,
show.
so it was like too much for anyone to do.
Oh yeah, managing 3 different TV shows. That's
Yeah, so he was pretty
that's
much
a
just
lot.
like voice acting and probably like helping with like the like opinions and stuff like that.
Yeah, because he voices Brian, Stewie, and somebody else. I
Peter.
think. Yeah, which is like 3 very main
Which
characters.
It's crazy because I'll give him that. Like some voice actors, they do different voices, but you can always tell it's them.
Oh, with
You know what I
him?
mean?
No, you definitely
With him, with him, sometimes when he does like a side character, like sometimes I'll be watching like American Dad, and then it'll be like just a random like a pizza delivery guy or something like that, and he talks, and I'm like, oh, that's Seth MacFarlane.
Oh, yeah,
you kind of
okay.
hear it.
Right.
Or like in Family Guy, when Peter's like falling, he's going he's like screaming. It kind of can hear Roger in it a little bit, just like a little kind of bit.
Is that him? Is he Roger? Also?
Yeah, he plays Roger,
didn't know.
Stan. Yeah. You can
I didn't know who all he did in American Dad.
I've watched it so much that
I just didn't know which characters he'd actually
yeah.
voiced.
I think the main character is just Roger and Stan. But it's always crazy when like they're having the scene, so he's talking to himself, You know who's really good is Billy West, the guy who does the voice for Fry on Futurama.
I actually didn't really watch too much Futurama.
Yeah, that's kind of before your time. But
I
there's
mean, I know it.
Disenchanted.
I just
You should watch that show. It's pretty funny.
really. I
on
think my
Netflix.
roommate was really pretty into that for a little while.
Yeah,
I
well,
didn't-
it's
I
the
didn't see it.
same creators.
It looks like the same animation. I saw
Yeah.
a preview for it, but I didn't actually watch it.
It's the Simpsons as well. Same creator.
Oh, really?
Simpsons is good,
I
yeah.
didn't know that.
So they that's what they said. They had the Simpsons for the present, they had Futurama for the future, and Disenchanted for the past.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. It's
Oh, I
kinda
didn't
cool.
know that. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah, that was a good show. But Billy West, he does a good job of he on Futurama he played Fry, the main character,
Mhm.
Professor, the old man, Dr. Zoidberg, who was like an alien.
Yeah.
And then he played.
I've seen a couple episodes.
He
of it, I
played like a bunch of the guys. I was telling you I was like doing voice acting. I had a chance to try out for like a Futurama remake, but
Oh shit! Did you?
no, it was just too hard. Like I couldn't do the voices. Like I feel like I couldn't imitate any of those voices. Like,
Oh, okay.
I can imitate some voices, like Arnold Schwarzenegger or like Donald Trump or something like that, but like only a few. Like I'm not really that great about imitating voices. Like I make good voices on my own, but
Ones that of your own personal making. Okay.
Yeah,
I see,
yeah,
but
yeah.
actually imitating the voice itself is difficult.
yeah,
Yeah, I can
producing
see
myself is easier. There's only a few, but only if they happen to line up with the way I talk, anyways.
that. Right.
Which I don't like the way I talk. It kind of sounds nasally almost.
I don't think anybody likes the way that they talk.
Yeah, you just kind of have to get used to it. Just be like whatever.
Well, did you ever hear yourself recorded?
Yeah.
Obviously,
on a
okay. You're
podcast.
podcasting. Fuck off.
I kind of had to get over it.
Yeah. No, anytime that I've ever heard myself recorded, I'm like, no, there's no way, man. I sound like a dick. It's kind of funny.
So I want to get into like where you grew up, kind of, if you wanted to. Like, how did you get to become a comedian? Like your where'd you grow up and all that? You say you're originally from Harrisburg. But your parents, like,
Well,
like what kind of household did you grow up in? Would you say, and how did that kind of affect like who you are now?
well, let's see. So when I grew up in like a pretty wholesome house, I guess you could say. I mean, it was my mom and my dad, and it was just me. I was the only child.
Just you and your dad?
Me and my dad and my mom for until I was about 8 or 9, and then my parents got divorced because my
so
mom.
you remember all that, the divorce?
Yeah, but I mean, I don't remember I don't remember too much of them like fighting and stuff like that. I do a little bit, but not very much of it. the bulk of it was because my mom just became a really, really bad alcoholic, which is probably another reason that when I started to see addictive tendencies in myself, that I wanted to actually go and get sober. That's why I said before, I mean, like, I don't know if I actually am an addict or not. I just know when I start to see characteristics of an addict in myself, it scares me because it fucked up my mom real bad.
Well, they say it can be genetic, you know.
Right.
The tendencies, anyways.
Yeah. When I went to AA, that goes into you know, what is addiction? Is addiction actually a disease and that kind of argument? I don't know if you've ever actually seen people argue about that. But with addiction in AA, I remember them teaching us that, like, being an addict is like having an allergy to alcohol. I mean, everybody can agree that when you're drunk, it feels good, right? But I mean, I think that it's people, it feels better for certain people, and for certain people it's just more difficult to get away, like, control yourself with it, you know, and stop doing it, have that self-control with it. And I think that that's where people get the term addict from, is somebody that can't stop whenever they start.
Some people, man, it's just like they just cannot stop. Like, some alcoholics, like, they can't go a second without being drunk. You know what I mean? Like,
people wake up in the morning and literally have to have alcohol. I mean, that's like a physical addiction.
That's like, I said it before, but like, I drink beer. I don't drink liquor at all. I don't like the taste of it, first of all. And then I'm like, I don't think I'm going to become an alcoholic drinking beer. Alcoholics, I love alcohol. I love the taste of, I love alcohol. I love the taste of beer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the taste of liquor. But it's those people that buy the $2 bottle of vodka. You know what I mean? You can buy a vodka for like $3, like a bottle. And then they drink that, and they get fucking drunk all day. And they're just like assholes. And they just can't like function in normal society because they're so drunk and they can't stop. Just when you can buy a bottle of vodka for $3, you know what I mean, and just be drunk all day, that's when you have a problem. You're buying a bottle of vodka for $3
just to get drunk.
You don't even care what it is or how it tastes, as long as it gets you to being drunk. And I don't even get drunk. Like, I never get drunk.
Doing it socially, even at that point.
Yeah.
And see, that's how you know that you're not an addict, is because you're just drinking it to get a little buzz. I mean, you know, that's how my dad drinks.
I love the taste of beer. I just love the taste of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a refreshing drink. Like, it's like, like a glass of lemonade almost, you know? Mm-hmm. It's the same kind of thing. It's just like, you know? And then it kind of loosens you up a little bit, but as long as I'm not drinking, pounding them over and over again until I'm like, okay, I can't even go talk to anybody until I get to this level, you know?
Yeah, then it's
people. I used to be like that, like, oh man,
where I'd be like to drink just to go and actually talk to people, and
I'd be like, oh, I'm going to the grocery store, might as well smoke real quick, you know? Even weed can become like that.
You gotta be careful. Like, dependencies, you definitely.
Yeah, that's like, it scares me, is having a dependency on anything. But anyways, I kind of got off on a rant and like...
No, you're good. That's one of those things that's easy to talk a lot about, is addiction.
Yeah. So your mom had an addiction problem, and that kind of influenced you, like, as far as, like, not wanting to be like that. So, like...
because I saw what that did to her. Yeah. I saw the kind of person that she became because of it. And, I mean...
So do you have a bad outlook on, like... just people who do that? Like, does that...
No, I definitely
like, does that affect you at all, as far as you think of?
Does it affect me?
Like, when you view people who drink, or... Like, I don't care what you think. I'm just trying to see how you view, like, the world. Like, what do you think? What do you think when you think of, like, drugs, alcohol? What is your thought? And how do you think that ties into, like, where you came from?
Well, I mean, as far as the outlook that I have on people that do it, I mean, pretty much all of my friends use drugs and drink and stuff like that, and I mean, we're still friends. It doesn't really bother me to talk to people that are drunk or especially high. I mean, I can sit there and have a conversation with anybody when they're high, and it's not really gonna change too much. I certainly can't look down on somebody for using drugs and drinking because I did all that stuff for such a long time, and I also understand that it's a release, you know, and I feel like everybody needs to be able to wind down somehow, and everybody does it in their own way. So some people drink, some people smoke, some people go to music festivals and get like stupid fucked up for a couple days at a time, just as somebody else would go on vacation to the beach. I mean, so I guess I'm just saying is that everybody's got their own way of release, and I think that drugs are one of the ways that people do that.
So, like, you're saying, like, for you, though.
For me specifically,
Right.
what,
No, I mean, like, that's how your view is, like, to each their own, but for me, no.
yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't have a problem with people using it. I understand
So, like-
that that's how some people go about their lives. Who am I to judge them, you know? For one, I used to do it. And for two, it's like that's how you relieve stress. I mean, do it. If you're using, like, hard drugs like heroin and cocaine and stuff like that, I mean, I get whatever. I mean, if that's your poison, that's your poison. That's fine. I hope you don't die. But I'm not gonna sit there and be like, stop doing that. You're ruining the world. You know what I mean? It's not my place.
yeah. That's interesting. So, like, how long are you planning on going for this trip? Or you don't know?
I don't know. It kind of depends.
You should meet up with me in Colorado. I'm going out there in, let's see how many days. 19 days I'll be out there.
Oh, really? I don't know if I'll be
That far.
I should have left for my trip by then, but I don't know if I'll be in Colorado by then.
That takes a few days.
Well,
to
it
drive.
depends, kind of, because I'm gonna take my time when I'm going out there. I'm gonna
Right.
hit a bunch of different national parks.
Yeah.
But it depends because I'd like to have about $3,000 to $4,000 left in my bank account when I have found somewhere that I want to kind of like hunker down and just
So
find
you don't
a lot
plan
of
on coming
places.
back.
I don't know if I do or not. I mean, like, if I can't find anywhere that I'd like to be for a little while, then I will come back, but
That's
I
a cool
kind
thing. I
of
mean,
like to
you're
find somewhere.
You're 23, so I feel like, yeah, that's something everyone should try to do. I did that. I moved to Georgia for a year,
Oh, okay.
but I miss my family is what brought me back, because I just miss my family. It really is all, like, I didn't know anyone out there. I mean, I knew my, like, work people and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
I don't know. It was harder for me, but I guess it was just my perspective. I was younger than you are. I was like 21. But it's like you have to work at it to like get into like a groove of people that you get along. Like,
Oh, sure. I mean, how
Yeah.
long did it take you to cultivate your group
Like,
of friends here?
I've only lived here for like I've lived here for like since I was 22, so like
Okay. Oh, so you,
So,
you
like-
have some time under your belt.
like a little over 4 years, but like still, like I didn't grow up here. Some
Mhm.
people have lived here their whole lives, and they're like, "Oh, I went to school with this guy." You know?
Right. So
I
they
can't
have-
be like, "Oh, I went to school with you." I have to be like, "Oh, I went to school 5 hours away from here."
Yeah,
Yeah.
you said in like a small town the other day is where you grew up
Yeah,
in.
yeah. I grew up
Right.
in a town of like 800 to 900 people. Actually,
Right.
my phone's been blowing up today because we're playing a class reunion for like next year.
A band. Your band?
A class reunion, just like with all the classmates. I graduated with like 28 people.
No shit.
So it's enough to be on a group message with each other.
That's kind of cool. That's really cool.
I don't even know
actually.
it was 28. I think it was 23. It was 23
Damn.
people. Yeah.
It's kind of cool. It's like a closely knit circle.
Yeah, so we know. Actually, there is this one girl. I do not remember her for the life of me. Her name is Jennifer. But it's hard to tell if she got married, maybe.
What, do you think she's cute?
No, I just don't remember her.
Oh.
Like, this girl, Jennifer Tritt. I have no
Tritt.
memory of a Jennifer Tritt. She even says, went to TU Community Charter School, which is where I went. And I don't remember her at all. She must have just...
It's interesting with such a small class like that. Because there's a couple people in my graduating class that I'm not really sure if I remember. Like, if I looked at their faces for a while, I'm like, yeah, maybe. But,
Well,
yeah.
dude, I graduated in 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be a 9-year anniversary next year.
It'll be cool when you go for the 10 anniversary.
Yeah, I hope like I could be famous, like a better comedian by then. Be like, hey, I'm a comedian, you know? That'd be cool.
What's up, bitches? I'm somebody.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I hope I could be somebody someday. Somebody to someone. What's the fuck? I don't. How do you? They
Stripes.
changed Facebook, like the way it's set up now. So like, I don't know how to go into people's photos to creep anymore.
I
Like
think
it's-
there's a thing that says photos on the thing in
like
there.
I see 2 pictures, but
That might be all that she has.
But no, if I go here, I can. Yeah, I just don't remember her face at all.
It's good to strive to be talented, you know? Like, if you could go back to your graduating class and say, yeah, I've been doing comedy, even if you're not famous or something, you know, to just be able to be like, oh, come out here, you know, and then your friends see it's like, oh, that's a cool thing that you're into.
Nope.
I just watched this thing the other day, and it said, don't strive for,
It's
be
Jennifer
famous.
Buckley. That's right. She got married. Yep. Okay. Okay. I had
that's
a
what
feeling.
it was. Switched your
But
last
she
name
looks
on you.
way different than when I. Oh, she had 2 babies. That's why. That changes the face. I swear to God.
You're swiping so aggressively.
I'm just trying to get back to high school. I'm only at 2015, so I got 4 years of swiping to go.
Gonna be here till tomorrow.
Well, I don't see how to go into like an album, you know? Yeah, that's definitely
that's-
Jennifer. I think. Yeah. 2013. Alright, only 2 years left.
Come on, Bjorn. Come on, Bjorn.
Yeah, this is like super. I can't believe I'm putting this on my podcast, my live
Your live Facebook creeping.
creeping,
I
yeah.
hope you get famous and she hears this
Yeah.
this whole mess
definitely
of you
her.
creeping.
Okay.
You're gonna go to your reunion and be like, oh yeah, I have a podcast now, you should listen to it. And she's gonna listen to it and be like, why did you just do like a 6-minute segment of you scrolling through my Facebook? Now everyone's gonna find me on Facebook that listens to your podcast.
Yeah. I hope she's like I remember, because I remember her being the weirdest fucking person
Well, that means she'll be interesting.
ever. Yeah. I love weird people.
They're the best.
Mm-hmm.
People that just follow the rules and are drones and don't have any kind of personality to them.
Oh my god.
The weird ones are more fun. Everybody's weird though in their own way. It's just if they talk about it.
I feel like people like don't want to, like, they don't have the courage to just like be themselves, like, because it's not socially acceptable in a way. Like
No, it's not.
me being me, like, to be crazy like I am, like, I'm like impulsive, like I'll can say shit to people I barely know, and it's just like, it's not socially acceptable to be like that. But it's just who I am, you know? And so some people, like, they only do things, they only act a certain way if it's socially acceptable. They only act the socially acceptable way. They don't act like themselves. They only act the way that other people want them to see. And then they do things to be socially accepted. You know, like they'll take the job that people think they should get. They'll date the person. They'll get in a relationship because that's what you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like,
Sounds
you're
terrible.
supposed to get in relationships. That's what everyone's always pushing everyone to do. It's like the main goal. And I'm like, why is that the main goal?
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I think that leads to people being unhappy.
Yeah,
You know
a
what I
lot
mean?
of people,
'Cause
like,
you're
I was
not
just on
being-
this text, and someone's like, oh, this person's so in love, and I'm jealous because I'm like, why? That's good for them, but, like, for me, I'm so in love with the fact that I'm standing up and doing comedy, and I'm getting courage to stand up and be creative. That's way more fun to me than being in a relationship. I've done that before. I've been there before. I can do whatever I want right now. So you got to look at what you got right now. And if it happens, great. That's awesome. I hope it does. But, like, if it doesn't, you got to be happy like that forever. I just had a girl, literally, I just had a girl ask me to marry her a week ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you?
No. I told her it wouldn't make us happy. That's what I said. I said it wouldn't change anything. Like, it's not the magic cure to everything, you know? That's what she felt like it would be, you know?
Just in love with
She's
the
like, let's
idea
run
of
away
love.
and get married. And I said, it won't make you happy. And she's like, what? I said, it won't solve all the problems. She said, why wouldn't it solve all the problems? And, like, I didn't feel like that's a stupid question that you even had to ask. Why wouldn't it solve all the problems? Because if you have to think about why would marriage not solve all the problems, because it won't. It's just me and you deciding to live together and
Marriage is just a
have the
fucking
government
title, dude.
sign off on it. So, like,
It's just
if
a
we
title.
ever decide to move out because we don't get along with each other, it's got to be this huge deal, and you get to take my money, and I have to pay you alimony forever. Like, what? What? Why do I have to go through all that just to fuck you and live with you? Like,
That's stupid, dude.
Yeah,
I think marriage
so-
is just a title, and I think
Yeah.
that's.
I feel like people feel like they're better. Like, yes, I did it.
Maybe not even better,
Not
just
better,
like
yeah, you're right.
accomplished.
Accomplished,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like just
Yeah.
you're
I won.
okay.
I won the
did
game.
it. I completed life. You know, I think
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of people that, like you said, those people that go and just be who they're supposed to be, do what they're supposed to do, kind of feel like, okay, whenever I get that good job, whenever I get married, whenever I get my own house, I'll feel fulfilled because that's what you
everyone's
do.
been telling
That's what
them
everybody
to do.
does. That's what everyone's supposed to do. That's what
Yeah.
you're supposed to do to feel fulfilled. And then there's probably a lot of people that get there and then they're like, well, what the fuck? I'm not happy. And it's like, well, you did this because everybody else did it. You didn't do
Yeah.
this because you wanted it.
Right. That's
Makes
exactly right. My mom, she listened to my first podcast, so I'm hoping she doesn't listen to this one.
She
Because this will ruin
you're
the-
gonna say something really fucked up, and she's gonna be like, "Damn it, Bjorn!"
Oh yeah, this
You're
will
not my
ruin the
son anymore.
relationship right here. She always is saying, like, I hope, like, she's always saying, like, if you give yourself to God, He'll set you on a path for success, and you're gonna have a wife for your son, and it's gonna be amazing. Which sounds good, but if you think about it, she's basically saying I can't do anything for myself. That the only way I'm ever going to be successful is if God does it for me. Like, if you think about it. That's like her whole thing is like, God has plans for you. He has things for you. So it's like, oh, so you don't think I can do anything without His help? Like, He wasn't the one there with me working 50 hours a week. He wasn't the one there changing my son's diaper. He wasn't the one who went out looking for this and did this and did this. That was me. I had to push myself to do it. It wasn't some magical force behind me pushing me to do it. It's like pretty much saying you can't do it by yourself. And I'm like, I can. You know what I mean? Like, I can do it. I'm a capable person. You need to you don't believe in me. Like, you believe in God, you don't believe in your own son that He has the willpower to do this himself. And then, like you're saying the only way you can be happy is to have a wife. That's basically the other thing she says. If you think about it, that's the way I view it.
If she's saying that you're to be happy you have to have a wife. Is that what she's?
That's
Is that what you think she's saying, or is that what she actually says?
That's that's anytime she like talks about what's good, like I'm so proud of you, and I know that a great woman's gonna come into your life. That's like basically the repeating thing. It's like, why do you gotta say that? What if I decide that I just want to be single and I just want to hook up with some girls every year, hook up with a new girl for a little bit and then just move on? What if I like that? What if that's what I want to do? What if I don't want to get married? Or what if I want to be with a girl for a few years and then ditch him and find a new one? Because I get over it, you know what I mean? Like, what if that's what makes me happy? It might not make you happy, but what if it makes me happy?
Well, if this is my opinion, I mean, you should do what makes you happy. I mean, ultimately, it's difficult for you should just do what makes you happy. I mean, you shouldn't live for anybody else. You should do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, that's but as far as, you know, her saying, oh, you need to give yourself to God and then you'll find a wife, and maybe that's just her trying to suggest something to you that's worked well for her. You know, maybe she has devoted her life to God. I mean, it sounds like she has, and it's worked really well for her. And maybe when she devoted her life to God, that was the really, really positive thing that happened with her, is that she found love and she was given a new life through it.
That sounds good.
Well, I'm just, maybe that's what happened with her, so maybe she's thinking, well, if Bjorn devotes his life to God, that's what will happen to him too. But, I mean, you know,
that sounds
who
good,
knows
but people who know me personally know that my mom fucked up, and God didn't stop that from happening. She fucked up bad.
Okay.
So
with love, I don't mean to get into it. You don't have to if you don't want to.
yeah, I'll tell you after the podcast is over.
All right.
But yeah, she fucked up hard,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like, God didn't. If you were so great, why did this happen? Like,
Well,
why did you do this awful thing?
See, this is my opinion with that. I mean, there can't be good without evil, you know?
I guess everyone makes mistakes.
Everybody
That's
makes
true.
mistakes. We're imperfect. But I mean, like, I was reading this book one time about what happens when you die. Because it was this neurosurgeon who didn't believe in any kind of afterlife, and he had all the reason in the world not to believe in an afterlife, because he saw people that died and came back and had these out-of-body experiences and that kind of thing, and he thought that it was the brain still being active when people were dead, and so their brain was portraying this image of heaven, because that's what the brain thinks happens when it dies, and then they come back to life and they say, oh my God, there's a heaven. But this guy, he died and his brain was completely off. So as far as his research went, he shouldn't have seen any kind of anything. He shouldn't have seen anything because his brain was off. The light switch was completely 100% off, but he had this whole out-of-body experience, and he went to what we see as heaven, and it was... Honestly, that book changed my life, because that made me think that was proof for me that there is something after we die. I was really, really interested in that because my mom killed herself, so she, like, that was always something that I was really, really interested in. What happened to her? Where is she? What's going to happen to me? That kind of thing when I die. So reading that book and hearing somebody who didn't believe in any kind of afterlife have this out-of-body experience, have this proof to tell the world that there is something after we die, that was that was a really, really big deal for me. But yeah, sorry, we got off topic with what we were talking about, but that's just a...
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
We were talking about your mom and having her
oh yeah,
bad
we moved on
thing.
from that.
Yeah, but I brought that up because of God and afterlife and that kind of stuff. That's a really, really prominent thing in my life.
Yeah, it's like human nature to like believe in a God.
Right.
And
So
I've heard the argument that
something
the reason
above us.
is like we don't want, like I said earlier, like life's primary objective is to stay alive. So humans are the only animal that know they're gonna die. Like a dog doesn't know they're gonna die. Nothing knows they're gonna die. They're not smart enough. So we know. So we made up heaven so that we never die. So that we
That's interesting.
come to terms with the fact that we're never gonna die. We that's how we accept it. 'Cause it's so hard to accept. It's an interesting theory.
We have the ability to question. That's what separates us from animals. Is
Got a lot
that
of tattoos, man.
we took? Oh, thanks.
They look nice, yeah.
Thank you. I just got this
What's
one from my road trip not too long ago.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I got one on my tits here.
Oh yeah,
Fuck it is,
you
yeah.
forgot.
Over there. I don't remember it because I never see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like the ones that I have two on my back. I have one on each shoulder, and I don't remember which one's which.
Yeah, you forget about it because
Yeah.
it's just like.
And they're
yeah.
very similar. Like,
Right.
like see this one?
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then the other one's like
I can't really see that one all too good.
it's like still swirly. It's like,
Okay.
it's like they're both like swirly things. Like one is the Trinity symbol, and then one is the this is Odin. You know what Odin is.
Yeah, it's
This is-
Thor's dad.
Yeah, since Marvel's become predominant, everyone knows who he is. Like I used to have to explain when I was younger. I used to have to explain this one because when I got this, I was 18, so that was 8 years ago. So all the Marvel, like that was before Thor came out. You know,
In movies, yeah.
In
I think
movies.
the comics might have been out then.
yeah, the comics. But so like most people didn't know who Thor was,
Mm-hmm.
or Odin was. Some people knew who Thor was because still was kind of, but Odin.
Yeah, from like social studies and shit.
Yeah, but
I always
nobody
liked
knew
that
who
unit.
Odin was, so I always have to explain. This was Thor's dad, and these were his drinking horns. Basically, it's the story of how Odin became Odin. You know that Odin, this religion, was older than Christianity. And Odin...
Yeah, I could believe that.
Mhm.
It's a Greek mythology, right? Odin?
No, it's Norwegian,
Oh, is it?
which I am.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, yeah, you're Norwegian and Scandinavian, right?
Yeah, so he's like it was like a Viking god, like Scandinavia, like area. So like Sweden, Norway, Greenland, and Iceland are kind of considered Scandinavia. Maybe kind of Denmark, but not really. But anyways, those countries. But Odin, according to their mythology, he was hung by a tree, just like Jesus, and pierced through his rib cage with a spear, just like Jesus, and he died and was resurrected as well.
Oh shit, okay. I didn't know that. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Like, actually, a
It's the
lot of the
same,
stories from the Bible are actually taken from older literature. Like the story of, actually, like a lot of them, like Moses was taken. The story of Moses, the story of Noah was taken, the story of Samson was taken. A lot of them were taken from other stories. Because Orion, you ever heard of Orion's belt?
Yeah.
Orion killed 1,000 people with the donkey's jaw, just like Samson did.
Jesus
If you ever-
Christ, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Samson
Sounds like a task.
apparently killed 1,000 men with a donkey's jaw, and so did Orion. I wish they'd make some good Bible movies. Now I'm thinking about that.
I think there's I seen billboards for a Samson play
Yeah, I saw it.
or
Sucked.
something. I don't know
It
what it
was
is.
terrible.
Really? I didn't see it.
Oh, well, there was a movie, and it was not good. Like, I watched the series, The Bible.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it would be good because it's
And
like
it was
modern.
bad?
It was like crappy quality, like low budget.
Right.
Like I want, like, because some of the stories are actually really cool. Like if you read Genesis, it's like Narnia. Like it's just ridiculous. Like there's fairies, not like there are fairies, but they just don't call them fairies. but like it's like crazy. So I'm like, man, if they could just set these to like some like really good, it would be cool. Like I don't know. I guess that's what they did with Noah, the story of Noah, like with Russell Crowe.
I didn't
see that movie, but I've heard.
I mean, I know who Russell Crowe is. He's Gladiator, but
Yeah,
I didn't actually
they made
see
that movie Noah. It was like Noah and the Ark, and he was it. But I guess they strayed from the storyline a lot. But I feel like if I was a director,
probably just to make it interesting.
If I was a director, I could use pretty dang close to the script and make it look amazing because it's all there. There's some really crazy stuff that happens, but they just don't do it right. They don't do it justice.
Right.
I think that's because they never read the Bible. I've read the whole Bible. I used to be like a big Christian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like big. Like I read the whole Bible, literally, back to front.
Fucking Bible thumper.
Back to front, I read it backwards. No, I mean front to back. Yeah,
that sounds like some satanic shit. Right
I was, and then I took shrooms, and that's what changed my mind.
That's cool.
Honestly, I took shrooms and tripped, and it rewired my mind, and I was like, oh my god.
Much you thought it was like fake after?
It just allowed me to like look at the evidence around me. Because when I was a Christian, like, I would just block it out, just not think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, no, think about it. Like, think about it. Does it make sense? No. Okay, then why do you believe it? Because it feels good? I don't know, it could sort of sound like I'm just trying to convert everyone to science, but it's just like shit that like I said, like I told you earlier, I'm an impulsive guy, I say what I think. It's hard for me to hold back.
Well, you shouldn't.
Oh, man.
I gotta use your bathroom, man. Where's it?
Yeah, well, actually, we're about over. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, so.
Are we? Shit. Alright,
Yeah,
well, is
man.
there anything else you want to finish up on?
Just tell me, one thing you do to try to be a better person.
One thing I try to do to be a better person.
Be a better you.
Okay. Alright, so when I was younger, I remember there's this kid I'll never forget. Well, he was older than me. His name was Landon Nuss, and he passed away a couple years ago. This guy was like one of the nicest dudes that I'll ever meet. I mean, like, I remember I was sitting in a car and I really needed a cigarette, and I was like, fuck man, like I need a cig, we gotta stop somewhere. And he had like one cigarette left, and he gave me the last cigarette in his pack. And I mean, that's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, it really was. It was just one of those defining...
To a smoker, it's a big deal.
Yeah, it was. And like, it defines your character, I guess. But that wasn't why I think he's such a good person. He just... I mean, all around, you could just kind of tell he was just a genuinely good dude. And, him passing away early, I feel like is kind of, I don't know how much I believe it, but the idea that the ones who just understand life, the ones who have it down, they're the ones who die early some of the times, you know, like Billy Joel, only the good die young. They have it down, you know, so they don't have to be here that long. They have less stuff to learn. And I'll never forget this one time that I just kind of started hanging out with the guy. And he was kind of in, like, the it crowd, if you will, you know, out of, like, the big group of people that I would hang out with. He was kind of in, like, the cool inner circle. And so I was hanging out with these two chicks, and we were driving around, and we parked up in this parking lot. And Landon was there with a bunch of the guys, you know, in the big group of people that we would sometimes hang out with. And I was pretty socially awkward as a kid. I didn't really want to... We pulled up in the parking lot, and I didn't want to get out and, like, talk to everybody because I was shy, you know. And the two girls that I was with got out of the car just to go and do something and I guess talk to these guys really quick. But we weren't planning on being there that long, so they were just going to get out of the car and then come back. We were going to drive somewhere. But they got out of the car and they were talking to Landon and this big group of people for a little bit. And so I'm sitting there in the back of the car by myself, and I just started playing on my phone because I was like, you know, I'm not going to get out and talk to these people. I don't know how to do that. I'm not good socially. I don't fucking know. And Landon must have saw me in the car there, just excuse me, by myself, and not wanting to get out of the car, and he saw me, and he came up and he was just like, "Oh shit, Alex, what's up, man? Like, how's it going, dude?" And like, kind of pulled me out of the car and was just like talking to me and walked me over to the circle of people, and he made me feel accepted in the group, and he saw that I was he just saw that I didn't want to get out and talk to everybody. He pulled me into the group, I guess is what I'm saying, you know, and he made me feel accepted, and he made me feel good. And it's so easy for somebody that's in that inner circle, somebody that's cool, to see somebody that was in my position and just be like, you know, whatever, just don't talk to them.
It's like,
you
I
know?
feel like it's almost a natural thing to like almost feel like you're better than somebody, but you have to fight that urge, you know, like be like, we're all the same. You know?
Yeah, definitely. We are all the same. And yeah, if you're part of like that it crowd, I guess, it could develop like a sense of, oh, you're below me, you know. I'm not gonna have a conversation with you. I don't need to talk to him. He's not cool. But he wasn't like that. He saw that I was socially uncomfortable and in like a leisurely way, pulled me into the group, made me feel accepted, and he totally didn't have to do that. He saw me as like, sounds weird, but like describing me as someone who was like weak socially, you know what I'm trying to say? He saw me there and he pulled me into the crowd of people and just made me feel good and accepted. So that being said, that was like something that I'll never forget. And so whenever I'm somewhere and there's somebody that I see that's like that, that's hurting socially, that's socially uncomfortable, I just try and make them feel okay if I'm able to, but while not making it like a big deal. I just try and make everybody feel accepted, make everybody
so
feel
looking
equal.
out for the other person.
Looking out,
because
yeah.
you could be that person, you know.
I have been that person.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I feel like that too. I've always felt like there's like this girl at work who's autistic, and I'm like one of the only people that goes out of my way to make conversation with her.
Right. Okay.
Because
Yeah.
like, I've been the person that's like people like avoid talking to, you know, because you know, like I was a loser kind of a little bit, like when I was in elementary school. Like at least that's how I viewed myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I didn't have I wasn't popular. People didn't understand me. I was kind of weird. I didn't understand myself, and so yeah, like I've been that person. You know, so like the best thing for me at that point was to have someone come up to me and engage me. So you know,
Make you
like,
feel good, make you feel accepted.
yeah, so
you
if
know?
you could be that person to someone, that's really good advice, man.
Yeah, thank you. That to me is something that's really important. Looking out for other people who are hurting, are in a socially uncomfortable position. Just are. Yeah, just where I was, because I know that that's not a fun place. So if I can do something to help somebody feel better, then I always try and do that, you know.
Yeah.
I like making people happy, I guess. That's another
That's
reason
why you
I
try
like
to be a
comedy.
comedian.
Yeah.
It is awesome. There's no better feeling than have people laugh.
It's something that you've put time into to try and make them laugh.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I feel like that's a great way to leave it.
Agreed.
All right. Thanks for coming on. We'll do this again after you come back, or maybe next time I see you after your trip. You know.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I'm sure I'll see you again. If not, we could talk over
Online or something.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let me know how all that went. All right, man. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries.
All right, you guys have made it to the end. Thank you for listening. I hope to catch you next time. My name is Bjorn. Y'all been beautiful. Like, share, support. You know the drill. Don't be a douche.